Good day. Welcome back to Exaggeration Nation. It is time for this beast to lay down his first Star Wars review video. Now, why Star Wars? Because, first off, to give you guys a little history, I haven't been on YouTube for very long, or the Twitters for that matter. But what is going on is that I was inspired by guys that were really, really big into Star Wars. A couple of these guys, Drunk 3PO, first off, is my boy, very, very personal friend of mine, and he has a wonderful, wonderful YouTube channel and is very, very good and deep into the Star Wars universe. Also, second one, Mr. Abu Nas. I've been paying attention to him. Actually got inspired by one of his videos. He did a little review on one of his live feeds. He got off on the Black Panther a little bit and why it meant so much to him. I actually have never been a very big fan of Black Panther. I'm one of the few, but I have my reasons. But listening to him I never really considered, as much of what he had to say in my method of thinking. So I'm actually going to go back and watch it with brand new eyes, I guess, because of what he said. But anyway, shout out to you, brother. Simple Jeremy, he was one of the first people I met. I've been doing a couple live streams with him. Very, very cool, very funny guy, and he knows a lot about what he's talking about with Star Wars and stuff. Mr. Sith Kryptonian, he's one of the first people that Drunk 3PO actually introduced me to, and he has a special place in my heart because he has Kryptonian in his name, and I'm a huge Superman fan. Booyah! And then finally, I couldn't get anywhere without mentioning Miss Bonnie Burgess. I got to know her as well through Drunk 3PO a little bit, but I've been on a few of her live feeds and stuff, and that's been fantastic. But what I'm getting ready to lay down is just my opinions on a couple things as a common moviegoer. I've watched the original three, religiously throughout my life. I know about, I've seen all of the prequels. I've seen all of the Star Wars movies. But I'm not deep into the canon. I'm not deep into the extended universe as a lot of these other guys are. And so, I don't have as much perspective as a lot of these hello computer, as a lot of these guys do on how deep and how deep Star Wars universe actually goes. My opinion is just straight from a common moviegoer. How is the acting? How is the direction? What's going on with the I can spot some plot holes from time to time. Things of that nature, So it's pretty shallow, but at the same time, I do understand that I am a group of people that go to see this movie. That are not as invested in Star Wars, I guess you could say, as some of these other guys. But I do respect the hell out of these other guys too, for sure. Anyways, where are my thoughts on the Star Wars? I'll just break it down into this for you. Okay, in love with the original trilogy, as anybody is. Okay, the prequels, I actually enjoyed The Phantom Menace more than most. I did not like Attack of the Clones quite as much. That time when Anakin and Padme were riding those giant snails through the field, that's kind of when I almost gave up on the movie. Episode 3 was probably the best of the three, definitely. And then the new ones that just came out, I actually quite much enjoyed The Force Awakens. J.J. Abrams, I think, did a great job directing those films. And then Rogue One came out. I was a little bit upset in the fact that, why are you going to make a sequel, and then go to make a prequel, and then go to a sequel again? Now, I did think that they did a good job with Rogue One. I enjoyed it as a movie for what it is, but it just didn't make sense to me why they included that movie at the time that they did. Then we got to The Last Jedi. It sucked so bad. I would almost take The Phantom Menace over maybe I'm getting a little extreme there. I don't know, but I did not. Me and Drunk 3PO actually went to go see that movie together, and we walked out and we wanted our money back. It was terrible. I just did not like that movie. So that's where my opinions stand as far as the movies go. Oh, by the way, Solo, no, wasn't for me. Wasn't for me. I could tell with the prequels, I was cautiously optimistic when Disney took it over. I was like, man, Disney is a moneymaker. They can do some wonderful, great things with this stuff if they do it right. And so I was cautiously optimistic, and I was even a little more optimistic after The Force Awakens came out, because I thought it was really good. Definitely, I think that it's probably my favorite of the ones that have been done after Disney took over. Rogue One, like I still think it was a good movie, but I just didn't like. For me, like I said, the average moviegoer, I just didn't like when it was released. I was expecting sequel, 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 just a trilogy. But they started throwing stuff out, and then it started getting evident, especially after Last Jedi. I'm seeing how they're pushing Skywalker out. They made him so weak in that movie. What he's the most powerful Jedi out there, man. He is the symbol of light and hope in the universe, and they made this dude to look like such a tool. I'm sitting there, they build it up in The Force Awakens. He takes his hood off, and she reaches out, "Oh, here's your lightsaber, sir." And then in the Last Jedi, he just takes it and what? Come on, get real. And so it was at that point that I realized that what Disney has done is that they knew that Star Wars was a moneymaker. It didn't matter anybody, and even now people will go see Star Wars because it is Star Wars. That's just the way it is. But they know this. And so they're like, you know what? We're going to push out mediocre film after mediocre film because people are going to see it. One movie a year, one movie a year, one movie a year, sometimes two, and it's just overload. It's just overload. And not to mention half of the movies really, really suck. And the other fact is that, and I know this from listening and researching and, paying attention to what my other guys that I mentioned earlier in the video have said. Man, they have really forced out their fans and not given a rip. They've forced all this PC culture crap in there. Oh my word. Come get real. Any of you SJWs, I hope you're just sucking it all in, enjoying it. Have your time. Enjoy yourselves, because there will come a time when the actual fans, the people that give a rip about what Star Wars should be, are going to come, and it's going to end up biting people. I have no doubt about that. Lastly, I guess is the last thing I'll hit on. I've always been a big Disney fan. I love Disney. I love their movies. I love, usually what they do. When does it come time to when you actually consider boycotting something? I'm not a fan of boycotts. But the way they've handled Star Wars, the way they've handled their fans, it is, oh my word, it is very, I almost want to boycott episode 9. Is it going to be any good? I don't know. But I almost want to boycott it, man. This guy, I think Star Wars Review made this, everybody's talking about this fan film that he made. I watched it today for the first time. It was amazing. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The acting in it, there was some, you could tell it was fan film because of the special effects, but for what it was great. It was absolutely great. And, he had gotten permission from Lucasfilms to actually make this, from what I understand. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to make it. Then it takes off. I mean, people start raving about this thing. And I even put up on my Twitter feed, I even put up, a little poll. Did you like this fan film better than the Disney Star Wars movies? And, most people said, yeah, it's better than all of them. A couple of them said no. And then there were a few that said, it's better than some of them, but not all of them. I mean, it was huge. I thought it was great. And then Disney jumps in and just takes the legs out from this dude. And he's like, oh, you can't monetize this, or we're going to take it. Copyright this, copyright that. Dude, when will people be able to choke down and say, no, I've already got $500 billion. I think we're set without this one fan film. It's like it's going to break their Star Wars or whatever. Other than that, too, it would be nice of them to say, listen, check out what our fans are doing for us, man. They're putting the Star Wars name out there. I mean, they are promoting this material. Probably because of this guy, people are going to end up being more excited for Star Wars than they were before. I know I was. I was like, man, this is really cool. But then Disney comes in, acts like a bunch of jerk faces, and starts just, taking this guy through the ringer. He invested his own money into this thing, and oh my word, it so poor. Of the happiest place on earth. I think everybody should go ride a Star Wars ride whenever that Star Wars land opens up, and take a huge dump in the seat in the ride that they're sitting in and walk away. I think after the time where they have to clean up about 45 turds a day, they may get the picture that people are wanting to crap all over their version of Star Wars. Anyways, I hope everybody's enjoyed this this video. I'm going to try to include a link to all of my boys that I mentioned earlier. I know that there's some out there that I didn't get to mention, and I'll hit on them in another video. And I'll find something else Star Warsy in the future to rant about. But anyway, Exaggeration Nation, peace out.